Hi, welcome to Pod of Mercy. I am your host, Long Hair Linda, and today's special guest co-host is...
Troubz, the Wiretap. Thank you for having me.
Hey, how you doing, Troubz? How have you been?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well, thank you. Doing well. Looking forward to doing this episode, actually, very much so. Because this is your first time on the podcast, isn't it?
Yeah, same. I've been waiting to get a call, so I got a call now.
Do you know what it is? It's because I'm always trying to think of the best topic for each person. And so I struggle a little bit sometimes trying to figure out what would be a good thing to talk about. But I think I've got a good one for you today.
Now that
Um,
makes sense. I'm excited for it. That makes sense though.
cool. Well, before we get there, you have to do a rapid fire round. Now, this is 45 seconds where you have 10 questions to answer. They're a bit of a mixed bag. You just have to give me the first answer that you think of just to try and beat the timer. Do you think you can do it?
I believe so. I've seen a couple before. So
Okay, cool.
so
All right, well, let me get my timer together and we will get going. So, ready and go. Favorite pizza topping?
cheese,
If you could have any superpower, which would you choose?
invisible.
First thing you do when you wake up?
Check the time.
Favorite ice cream?
Strawberry.
Truth or dare?
There.
Favorite musical artist?
Tupac.
Biggest fear?
Family in danger.
Name three things you use every day.
Phone. Shower gel, toothbrush,
Sunrise or sunset?
sunrise.
Number one goal to achieve in 5 years. Oh, we're out of time.
You
Oh,
can't.
so close. That was the last question as well.
You see that last question is the trickiest one as well. That's the last question for a reason.
Yep, I did pick that one.
That
I knew that would
requires
make you think.
that requires four. Yeah, that requires four.
I am interested in your answer though. What would be your number one goal to achieve in the next 5 years?
um, Number one goal to achieve, at least start the process to buy a house.
Nice. Very cool. Same.
Yeah, yeah. I think
Um,
it's an important one.
yeah, it's an important one, that one. All right, well, you did well. You got to the final question. I mean, we didn't quite beat the timer, but you did very well.
How many people have beaten the timer?
Oh, there have been some. It's not like I think it's more have lost to the timer than they have won. I'm not sure though. I
Okay,
might need to go back
okay.
and check, but I think more people have lost to the timer.
Damn, so I'm part of the minority.
Well, I mean, no, you're part of the majority.
Yeah, part of the
Yeah, yeah,
majority.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I think you'll just have to come back and try and beat it again. We'll have to think of another topic for you. You come back and you can try and redeem yourself.
Yeah, I need to. I need to. I'm very competitive like that, so now I need to come back.
Okay, well, so for this episode, the topic I wanted to discuss with you is productivity and motivation. So I thought this would be good because these are two things that I have sometimes and I'm really good at doing or having. And then other times I'm like, oh, I just can't. I cannot today.
Yeah,
So I thought it'd be good to speak to you about it because you're somebody that I think is highly motivated just based on how much content you put out for the Wiretap and how consistent you are with just getting stuff out there, getting interviews and all that kind of stuff. So, um, I wanted to find out what keeps you motivated when it comes to the Wiretap interviews and just general YouTube content.
it's funny you say that because I have my own. A lot of times I'm not motivated, so. But what keeps me motivated is setting goals, setting certain goals for yourself, small goals as well, and then take them off as you go. You know,
Nice. So do you have like a
just
list, like a checklist that you go through?
yeah, like so when I first started the channel was I want to get to 100 subscribers, and then I wanted to get to a certain number of views, then I wanted to do interviews that I enjoyed listening to, because on my day-to-day basis, most of the time I listen to music, of course, but I listen to a lot of podcasts and a lot of interviews and things like that. So I like to try and produce interviews that I can go back and listen to and actually enjoy listening to it. So what my set little goals, like, okay, let me try and create content that I like to listen to. Let me try and reach this amount of subscribers. Let me try and reach this amount of videos.
Hmm.
Set up little goals, and eventually, next thing you know, you're being consistent. So
I love that. And it's funny you mentioned consistency because I don't know if you feel this way, but I kind of I kind of feel like consistency, the amount of consistency required in the creative space, let's say, it always feels like it's so much more than just regular entrepreneurial endeavors. Like I feel like if you
yeah,
have, say, a
100%.
business where you offer a service, you do have to be consistent, of course. Like you need to be consistent in what you're offering, whether it's a product or service, and you need to be consistent with your clients, your customers, and all that kind of stuff,
Yep.
right? But I feel like when it's something creative, it's like you're almost having to get to like a godly level of consistency to
Yeah.
get any kind of reward for the work that you do. I mean, would you agree with that?
I would agree. I would agree. And but at the same time, maybe sometimes we look for rewards, and I'm a victim of that myself, because then I start looking at things and I'm like, why am I not getting the response I expected? But
Mm,
that's when I start looking at numbers too much. But sometimes we do look for rewards quicker than we should, and we forget to just enjoy the process. We start focusing on the rewards, and sometimes, we just gotta enjoy the process of creating.
yeah.
And once the creating part is done, it's done. You've done your part. Everything else, you need to start focusing on what what else are you going to create next, rather than seeing how it's done. And the numbers or whatever doesn't determine how well the product is. Sometimes people catch up later. It's on YouTube, so people can watch it later. It's not like you don't because you don't get the views at the time that you wanted. It doesn't mean that it's not good content. So we look for rewards too quickly sometimes, and when things we're a bit impatient nowadays,
Mm.
and I think it's because we're looking at the gram, and we look at people that are actually successful on it, etc., etc. But they've been through the same phase that we are now. They've been through it too. So yeah, we just got to be more patient. That's all, and enjoy the creating process.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I'm the same way like with Pod of Mercy because when I thought of the idea, when I was like, oh, it would be really cool to do this type of podcast. First of all, it was years before I even started it. But
Yeah,
because I'm the same way, I mostly listen to podcasts. Like I do listen to music, but if I'm doing a task, if I'm working, if I'm traveling, it's podcasts that I'm mainly listening to.
yeah,
And I've always loved like the art of good conversation and just getting different points of view or just having a laugh and being silly or talking about something serious or whatever it might be, just having these conversations with interesting people.
yeah,
And it's something that I really really enjoyed doing. But the first thing I did when I was actually putting out my first episodes on SoundCloud was to make sure that I turned off that display stats thing because I never wanted to look at how many people were listening to the content. I just wanted to create it because it was fun to create and I get to speak to my friends and people I know through battle rap and super interesting people and just talk to them about everything and enjoy that process, like you were saying, enjoy the creating of it rather than whether people will like it or not. And then when people do like it and they message me or something, I'm like, oh, that's really cool that you listened. It's almost as if I forget that there's going to be people listening to it almost.
exactly,
Like
exactly.
it's just more so I wanted to have a specific type of conversation with this specific person and I had fun doing it and then I've just put it out and maybe someone will listen, maybe they won't, maybe they'll listen now, maybe they'll listen in 3 years and maybe they'll enjoy it, maybe they won't. and I think it's far more rewarding to me that way than if
Yeah,
I was. I think it helps as well that I'm not the one that uploads it to YouTube. So this is audio only, but just if you're listening, you can listen to it or watch the video, which is just a screen of the logo on YouTube. But because I don't upload that there, it's Flawless that does it. So I'm never on the YouTube page.
yeah. Shout out
I
Flawless,
never
by
have
the way.
to shout out
Yeah,
Flawless every time. um I never have to see the views, I never have to see the numbers, like I don't see any of it. I'm imagine they are very low, but I don't, it's not something I interact with every day, and so I never see stats. So if somebody happens to message me and say, oh, I listened to this episode, it was really funny, or I disagree with whatever clip I might post in my stories, and they go, they say something, I'm like, oh my god, shit, you listened, thanks. Like it's a shock that
yeah,
like they listened, and I think it's almost better that way. For me,
yeah,
anyway, the
yeah,
type of person I am.
yeah. Again, you just enjoy creating. You just enjoy
Yeah.
creating. Don't get twisted. I say that, but I do go through my phases where I'm like, damn, like, why am I not? I start looking at the numbers. I do the same thing.
Mm.
And I'm like, why in this happening like this? And I just start seeing certain things but I'm a Cancer, so I'm very emotional sometimes. So um,
Do you
certain
compare?
things trigger me quite a little bit,
They
quite
trigger
easily.
you.
Yeah. But I say this because I know I say what I just said, for example, of enjoying the process and blah blah blah. It's almost like I'm telling myself advice, really. So even though I'm saying it because I know that's what I should be doing. And when I don't do it, I can come back and listen to these type of content and remember, you know what? I said this. I should listen to myself.
I should take my own advice.
Yeah, I should. And although it's easy to to give advice, but
Man,
to follow it is a bit, you know.
who are you
But
telling? That's literally my life story. I have the best advice. A1. I can get people through so much. When it's me, let me just hide in my bed for a bit because I can't deal with anything. I can't deal with like any big stuff. I just get so overwhelmed. But when it's other people, you can see it so clearly and give them the best advice.
yeah,
Um,
trust me.
do you ever find, because you mentioned about like, you have those moments where you're like, oh, you should be doing this, it should be doing that. Do you ever compare your successes with people that you think maybe put out similar content to you?
Yeah. Of course, I do. I look at other people, but not. I don't look at other people on some envy, because that's the thing. Like that's another thing. I generally also have this in me that I want everyone to win, whether it is before me or after me. I really want everyone to win. So I look at people and it motivates me. Sometimes if my motivation is low, I look at other people whenever they start putting out good content, etc. It just motivates me to keep doing what I'm doing, really. And yeah, so I literally look at other channels that yeah, like you said, produce the same type of content, and I generally get happy, and then it gives me a boost of energy, and then I get back on track. So yeah, definitely, I do.
Yeah, I love that answer. I'm very much like that as well. I don't necessarily compare numbers because I don't know my numbers. So I think that helps me to not do that. But I do definitely look at other people's work, or people that I know especially, and I'm very much the same way. I'm like, I want everyone to win, because the number of people that exist on this planet, literally everyone can have a podcast and everyone can listen to something. Because, for example,
100%.
both of us put out interviews and podcasts, right? And then
Yeah,
think about how many podcasts we still consume on a daily basis, like how many we listen to. And
exactly.
there's room for literally everyone to do well, right? Whether you're creating or not. And so yeah, I'm very much like that. I love when I see people win. I love people that I've met a few times, maybe at events or whatever, and speak to them online, and then all of a sudden they've launched something and it does really well, and it's just like, oh my god, amazing. Or like when people like streamers like Bamalam will put, will get all these
Yeah,
milestones because of all this streaming that he's been doing. Again, shout out Bamalam. um
six.
it's
Big up.
so great to see that on Twitter. I'm like, oh, I kind of know that guy, like that's so cool. Like,
Yeah,
and you're just
yeah.
so
And
happy.
and they're all mad happy to help as well and work with you as well. So,
Yeah.
and that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of it. I think we all at different stages,
Yeah.
but we all want all of us to win in a way, and that's beautiful for me.
And I think that
That's
makes it even that makes you root for them even more, doesn't it? Like especially when they're just super humble, nice, normal people and you know them as that. And then they're killing it in a whatever space it is that they're working in.
yeah,
it's so
100.
nice to see that.
Yeah, again, it's motivating and it's inspiring.
Mm.
I generally rather support or listen or watch people that I've been around.
Mhm.
Even if I don't get the same support back, it's fine. I don't. That's to me is more. He is inspiring to me. I rather help and put and try and push someone um, that I know a lot harder than someone's already made it and already got it. Like the type of music I listen to people that have not are not really are nowhere near where they should be, if anything. But I generally like their music. And because they're not nowhere near where they should be, it fascinates me even more because I just appreciate that type of their music or their content. I just appreciate that even more because I feel like, raw, like why ain't you getting I'm even if they're not, I'm angry for them. Like I'm like, why ain't you where up there? Like why? Like this is sick, man. This is crazy. So and then that inspires me to continue to do what I'm doing. So yeah, definitely. Maybe is a bit. I'll do it for me too, basically again because he inspires me, like I said. So yeah, still.
How do you manage your expectations? Like if you're expecting to be at a certain level, or if you're expecting certain rewards and they haven't quite come into, into fruition yet, how do you manage what you when you're making your lists and all the future things that you want to hit, how do you manage those expectations as you do that?
They have to be realistic expectations,
Hmm.
and I don't necessarily put a time on it. I just as long as they get completed, they get completed. And again, enjoy the process. Enjoy the process because I don't have a time on it. Like if I say I want to get to like now I want to get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. I don't have a time on it. I don't know when that's gonna come, but I know I'm gonna get there. So now I just have to continue creating, enjoy the process, stop looking at the numbers, and someone tell me when I hit there, basically. Um, yeah, I don't. I just put tick to a little list. This is what I want to do. I want to achieve, and um, yeah, whenever that comes, that comes. Until then, just continue doing what I'm doing. Just don't yeah, don't worry too much. Don't worry too much. Just keep working. Just keep working and do what you need to do. And whenever you do feel low, again, the work rate does decrease because obviously people have lives and work and family. The work whenever the work rate does decrease, because that's if I'm the most happy when if I'm either with family or I'm creating, really. So if I'm not creating, I feel like I'm missing out on something. Or even though I'm creating something for people, I feel like I'm missing out on something. I generally enjoy creating stuff. And when things stop me or the work rate goes a bit low or the inspiration is a bit low, just watch some content, watch some of your people, watch how sick they're doing, and remember that they tell you that you're sick. So you should. This person is telling me that I'm sick, and I think this person is amazing. So that's inspiring enough for me to pick up the ball and keep going.
I love that answer. Yeah, no, that's a really good way to look at it. I think I really struggled with um getting back to creating because of the pandemic. So At first, like I was really consistent from when I first started putting out the episodes. I was on it every 2 weeks. There was episodes with some bonuses in between there, so I was really really consistent. And then lockdown hit, and then I think I put out a couple of episodes at the start, and then from some point in April to whenever I restarted this year, um I think I put out just one episode. I think it was a games episode that I did, and then I did some like cross content, with the Talk About It network. So with stuff
Yeah,
with Red Lion and Sarcasm City. But other than that, like it took me a while to actually start putting out episodes again because it was like the inspiration was just not there. Like the conversations that I enjoy having now and that I did enjoy when I first started doing the podcast, I couldn't think of anything I wanted to talk about other than like,
yeah.
oh my God, we're still at home. Like that's all I could, that was all that was in my head is
But
we are still
that's
at
okay
home.
though. That's okay. Sometimes you need to take time for yourself.
Yeah, that's
Sometimes
true.
you need to live a little bit and take time out of it. And that's the thing. If you then force it, then it's not gonna be you're probably not gonna like it, and you're probably gonna then take it down. So I do that as well. Sometimes if I try and if the motivation is not there or whatever, it's okay to take some time for yourself as well. Like this is all it's going to be here to do.
Mm.
Like there's no time frame. You can do content whenever you want. So I can literally not do nothing for a while, and then whenever I decide to put a video back on YouTube, like I'm in control. Like, I do things as I wish. So, and it's the same with you. You in control. It's your platform. So if you need a timeout, you take the time out, and then whenever you do come back, then the content is sick again. It's better to keep creating good level of content than forcing it and just to stay consistent when you're not really there. You need to, if you take time out for yourself, then you'll be you'll be much better when you come back.
Yeah, absolutely. The quality of the content will be so much better than when you're trying to force it.
Exactly.
Um, and I'm just really glad that a lot of my favorite content creators were still creating through the lockdown and the worldwide pandemic because there's so many podcasts that I was still able to listen to and still able to enjoy, and it kind of kept me feeling as close to normal as I could.
Yeah.
So that even though I wasn't able to create, at least I was still kind of getting that, getting fed into by content creators that I listen to and really enjoy, and I found a couple more as well that I really love as well that at that time. So
Yeah.
yeah, no, I think it's great. Like I think you're right. It's either you're able to do it or you're not. Certain things happen in life and they get in the way, and you just kind of do what you can and try not to force it too much.
A hundred
Which I
percent.
think is
100%.
I think it's a problem sometimes when people talk about motivation. Like they try and make it seem like you have to, like it has to be a blood, sweat and tears thing. And I think that's not necessarily the case sometimes. Like you can have work ethic, you can work hard, you can put a lot of effort into something, but like it's okay to take time out for yourself. Like if you cannot mentally or whatever deal with something, forcing it isn't going to somehow bring you this great reward. It might make things a little worse, I think.
100%. Yeah, yeah. Nah, definitely, definitely. That's why it's really important to create content when you're in the right headspace for it.
Mm.
Otherwise, whenever you can create as much content as you want. Whenever you do, then get back to your normal headspace, which would probably take much longer to get there. You're then gonna go back to the content and you're like, I don't like this anymore, and then you take it down, and then you feel like you wasted your time. So you're better off. At least that's what happens with me anyway. So I'm better off just taking my time and then coming back. And as long as I'm enjoying the content I'm creating, yeah, you could have one view, you could have 100 views. It doesn't matter.
Nice. Well, we've spoken about motivation. Let's talk about productivity. So, outside of your creative ventures with the Wiretap, what would you say keeps your productivity up in your day job? So, do you have any like specific things that you know that you have to do to stay productive?
Um, what you mean? Activities that I do to stay productive, or
Yeah, are there any like little rituals or little things that you know? Like, for example, some people always like, I see this a lot, that people should not look at their phone when they first wake up. Like when they first wake up, they should go get, some water, go do their workout for 30 minutes or whatever, and then get started on with their day. And that helps them to be more productive throughout the day because they haven't started
mm,
it with kind of snoozing in bed and looking at their phone in bed. They've just kind of kick started their day. So it doesn't have to necessarily be anything like that, but there are certain things that you know you need to do during the week when you're working that will keep you productive during your work day.
I think definitely turning off my phone. I definitely need to turn off my phone a lot more. A lot more. Um, yeah, I think that's the main one. I definitely think that's the main one because it's easy to get distracted,
Hmm.
and depending on the mood that you're in, your phone can be really good and it can be really bad
Oh my
for
God.
you.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? So yeah, definitely turn off your phone. Turn off. At least me, I need to turn off my phone, and that's something I don't do. I need to do that though. I definitely need to do that. I think I'll be a lot more productive.
Yeah, there's no way in hell I would turn off my phone. I mean, I can't, to be fair. I do have to use it sometimes. Um, but even if I didn't, I'm not even gonna lie and say that that's something I would consider because it's just not. But
Yeah, now, but obviously not turn off your phone forever, but
yeah,
turn
no,
off your
but
phone
while
for a
you're
period of
working.
time, and yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah, 100%, 100%. Because again, see your mood. I think again, watching podcasts, I was watching something. I think it was with JME,
Mhm.
and he was saying that sometimes if he's at home and he's bored and he's feeling a bit low, and then he grabs his phone and then he sees his brother Skepta or other friends performing at a show or whatever, and that just makes him even more low because he feels like other people are doing something productive and he's just at home doing nothing. But then if he's on a flip side, if he's like doing something that day, like whether if he has a show or whether if he's just came from the studio and he feels like he was being he had a very productive day. He grabs his phone and then he sees his friends on holiday or whatever. He just gets happy for the next man because he also had a productive day. So depending on your mood, your phone can determine how the rest of your week potentially can potentially go. And I think at least with me, that's big facts. That's big facts because if I'm having a low Monday and I grab the phone and then I see people being sick, I don't get it twisted. I'm happy for them, but then I start questioning why am I not doing this and why am I not doing that? And then I fall down that hole of not like just feeling sorry for myself.
Yeah.
Whereas if I never seen that, I would have probably been able to just bounce back from that little low by Tuesday. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's my phone sometimes. I need to get off my phone.
That's fair. No, I get that. It can interrupt your productivity for sure. Like for me, it's more so that I can get lost in my phone. It won't necessarily change my mood, I think. If I'm, well, I won't say that. It doesn't affect my mood as much now in a negative way anyway. So, for example, like I'm working from home now all the time. So, my day kind of has to be a little bit structured to make sure that I'm productive.
Yeah,
But I do have my phone with me and it's on and I am on it a lot. But I kind of just have to manage it myself and have to make sure that I just manage my time well. So for example, when I wake up in the morning, I kind of chill out a little bit upstairs, like in my room, and just kind of get a nice little vibe going so I'm not stressed out or, stressing out over what I need to do. I kind of just ease into my day. I find that that's a lot better for me. When I was office based and I would wake up and maybe I was running late or whatever, that anxiety of getting somewhere and you're running late or you have to rely on public transport and all that, I find that that actually used to put me in a bad mood and I didn't realize that that's what was causing it. And so I get to the office and it's like I'm already had a long work day and I'm already like
yeah.
trying to get home. So I've realized now that, you know, it was a bit of an adjustment period working from home, but I've realized now that I've been doing it for a while that actually it's really nice for me personally to ease into my day. So I have, you know, the first
Yeah,
sort of hour of when I wake up and just easing into the day, you know, kind of relaxing and kind of planning slowly but without any stress for the rest of the day. Then I have to make sure that I do not stay in my room, because that was another mistake I made when I first started working
yeah,
from home. Is that I'm like, well, I can just work anywhere. I've got my laptop here. I can just kind of, you know, lie on my bed, get comfy with, you know, I've got a bunch of throws everywhere. And so, you know, I've got one
mhm,
on my bed. So I'm like, oh, I can just relax here and get my work done here. No, because now I realize that one, you're less productive that way. And two, you actually never turn off your brain, because
yeah,
now you associate your bedroom with work as well. And
yeah,
so now I'm
yeah,
trying not to do that. Like my bedroom is literally where I relax and record podcasts, because it's the place with the best sound. And that's it. So if I'm doing work, I need to not be in my room. I need to be, you know, downstairs. I need to be on the dining table. I need to, when I finally get my office sorted out, I'll be in there, but it can't be in my bedroom. So that's another
do you
thing.
like get ready like you're going for work?
So I tried to do that initially. That doesn't really work for me. But what I found is that I try and build my workouts into a certain time so that I still have a reason to
Right.
get dressed. Sometimes it, you know, I won't work out till the evening. So I might just be in my pajamas for a bit, and then at some point I'll get dressed. Like it's not like before I start work I'll get dressed. I
Right,
might be in
right,
my
right.
pajamas for the first hour while I'm working, you know, and I'm just got like my coffee or whatever, my breakfast, and I'll probably just still be in my pajamas, but I will get dressed. Like I'll get ready, and then I'll build in a time to go work out or go on a walk or do something, and then I'll come back, you know, shower, relax, go back to work. And so breaking up my day like that makes me more productive, because in those I
Yeah,
know that I have to do my work in those slots, because I don't have a choice. Like I can't just, you know, unless I'm crazy busy and end up having work into the night, which has been happening a lot recently. Um, unless that's the case, I have to work in those allotted times, and that kind of makes me productive. It's almost as if I'm putting pressure on myself, but not really. Does that make
yeah,
sense?
yeah,
Like
yeah. Nah, I hear what
have
you're saying. Yeah,
I know that I have those certain hours in the morning, that I have to do some work, and then at some point in the middle of the day, I'm going to try and go out for a walk, because that's when the sun's out, and usually it's a lot nicer. You know, then I'll probably go to the gym, depending on whether I'm going in the gym to the gym in the afternoon or in the evening, and then I'll come back, work for a bit more, then I'll do something else, then work for a bit more, and then I'm done for the day, hopefully. So
yeah,
by
yeah,
separating it out, I'm almost telling myself you have to be working in these times. So even if I'm on my phone, that kind of stops me. You know, I'll be on Instagram and then I go, actually, you know what? I'm in my work mode. Put your phone down, you know, stick the
yeah,
music on,
yeah,
and then get back to what you're doing. You can literally look at your phone after that. And that
yeah,
helps me a
yeah,
bit, to be fair. That keeps me productive.
yeah. Do you look at? Sorry, it's not. I'm not interviewing you. I'm just curious to know now.
No, go for it.
Um, do you look at your screen time? Your. I don't know if you have an iPhone, but iPhones do
Yeah.
the screen time thing, innit?
It
Do you
tells me
look at
on a
your screen time?
Monday.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
get the notification on a Monday morning ish, and it tells me what I did the week before.
But
Uh,
obviously, you can check the daily one, innit? You can go in your settings and actually check your daily one.
Do you know what?
Um,
I never check it. I just get that notification and go, "Oh, okay, screen time was down or whatever." But yeah, I never actually check it.
it's interesting because I heard some people because apparently you can put restrictions on certain apps where you can't go on a certain app after 9 p.m. You
Oh,
can't
wow.
things like that. Yeah, 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 you can do things like that, which obviously helped. I never tried it to be fair, but I know you can do it. But some people do it for their productivity actually, which is quite interesting to be fair. I might try it one day. Might try it one day. I said between a certain time and or whatever, um, no Instagram, for example, or something like that. It literally try and go on the app and it tells you you can't.
You can't go on. That's really funny. Do you have
Yeah.
your phone on you right now?
It's near me. Yeah,
Shall we
it's charging
compare our
near me.
screen time for today or the daily average?
Go on.
Because I've just seen
Man's
mine, and I feel like mine's a little bit outrageous, but I want to try and get some context. So shall we start with yours first?
go on. So daily. daily average 4 hours and 9 minutes.
4.
4 hours and 9 minutes.
Jesus Christ, mine is bad. Okay, mine's really bad.
What's
Oh my
yours?
God. My daily average is 12 hours, 40 minutes.
12 hours daily.
My daily
When
average.
you go on sea activity, yeah, what do you? Are you sure you're checking day or you on week?
Hang on, that can't be right. 1 second,
Go
because
on sea activity, and then it
wait,
tells
now
you
it's
what's
different. Now it says 6 hours 20. Oh, because it's now midnight. It now says 6 hours 20. Um, Updated today at midnight. Okay, hang on. Let me see. Yeah, it's changed to 6 hours 20, but it did say 12 hours 40 before.
when you go on sea activity. You can check the week.
Let me see. Yeah, but it's doing a new week now because it's Monday.
Oh yeah, true.
So I can't, it won't tell me yet. It won't tell me for last week, sorry.
Yeah. What's your highest category though?
Where do I see that? Is that still in see all activity?
So if yeah, see all activity, and then if you scroll down, it tells you most used.
Yeah, Instagram.
Yeah.
So it's Instagram, YouTube, then Twitter.
Okay. Yeah. Now mine, yeah, mine's YouTube.
YouTube first.
YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and just Safari.
Oh
Yeah.
no. I think because I do a lot of YouTube on my laptop. So that's probably why it's a little bit more skewed because I'll be on Instagram on my phone while I'm watching something on YouTube on my laptop.
Yeah. Nah, I'm on YouTube all the time on my
um
phone. That
my
unlimited data is a setup.
It is a setup. It is. It really is. Oh my God. Okay. So it says my total screen time for yesterday was 12 hours 42 minutes.
Wow. For yesterday. Yeah, mine was 4 hours and 10 minutes.
Oh my God. I need help. I have a problem.
No, wait. Total screen time. Sorry, I was checking it wrong. Total screen time, 8 hours, 21 minutes.
At least that's better. That makes me feel less like out there with my 12.
Yeah, yeah. That's I think Monday and Tuesday so far. Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday.
Well, yeah, we're in Tuesday now, but
Yeah.
'cause
But
you're
it's only
an hour ahead of me, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
but that's fine. That's fine. It's technically the same thing, really.
Yeah, true.
Because I skipped that hour anyway. So
Yeah, you did. Yeah. Um, wow, okay. Well, that's something I didn't need to know about myself. Thank you for that. Um, okay, well, I think maybe we should end there. Maybe I think that's it. What are your final thoughts then on how you keep yourself productive and motivated in general? Let's go with that.
in general,
Mhm.
again, just watch your peers and enjoy their content and lift them up. Again, I say certain things sometimes to people, but even though I'm saying it to people, I'm also saying it to myself. So sometimes I say it like, yeah, man, that's keep going, man, keep going. And at the same time, I'm also telling myself to keep going. Do you know what I'm saying? As mad as I'm talking to other people, I'm throwing it out into existence as well. And yeah, just keep going really and enjoy the process. That's the thing for me. Like just enjoy the process. I forget that sometimes, and sometimes I'm like, again, just like a normal human being, I want the rewards quick, and I want things. I feel like okay, why don't I enjoy doing this content? I think this was good, but I didn't get the response that I wanted, and then I get a bit disappointed. But then you need to snap out of that and just enjoy the process, enjoy the creating, and continue creating. If you're creative, no one, like someone can even steal your idea. If anything, no one can ever steal your creativity. So just keep creating.
I love that. Just keep creating. I totally agree with that. I think for me, it helps me to have something like this because my schedule was stupid at this point, and this is like the reprieve for me. This is the fun stuff. This is where I get to talk to my mates for a bit, and and it can be
Yeah,
about anything, and it's just a fun time. And I think that is how all
yeah,
creative kind of stuff should be looked at. I know it's not easy to, especially, if you've got, let's say if you're, 9 to 5, you work for a terrible person or a terrible company, or you're just not happy with where you are, and you want your creative stuff to pop off as soon as possible, so that that can be, what you do all the time. That can be your main job. But sometimes, it's not meant to be that way. Sometimes you just got to enjoy the process, and then if it pops off, that's great. If it doesn't, it's got to still be something that you love to do and would do for free all the time.
exactly, exactly. And yeah, just stop. If that's what you want to do and you want to do full time, then you need to enjoy making it for free first. It's a process in it. So just keep creating. Just keep creating. That's it.
Absolutely. Okay,
Um,
well, we can go on to the final segment then, which is called Mahakama. Now, Mahakama is a Swahili word and it means court, high court to be specific. And this is the part of the show where I basically just get to judge people, situations, the goings on of the world, because I can be quite a judgmental person, but I'm trying to live my life in a way where I show more grace, because I would like grace to be shown to me. So I'm trying not to be so judgmental. So I figured if I could build it into this podcast, then I have a whole segment dedicated to being judgmental.
it's a dope idea. Judge Linda.
Judge Linda, exactly. Got a good ring to it, to be honest. If I actually went and did something with my degree in practice and stuff, I probably would have wanted to be a judge at some point. But that's another life. Um, okay, so for this week's Mahakama, I wanted to talk about what's been all over the media all weekend and today, and likely tomorrow and Wednesday when this episode comes out. Um, I wanted to talk about the Tory government and the media for their handling of the driver shortages that have led to a bunch of panic buying for food and petrol recently.
Yeah,
Um, I don't know if you've seen some of the footage and stuff on Twitter. It's mayhem at the moment. People have been queuing up for a long time to get
yeah,
petrol, and there are people out there that are, they have like their trunks. I sound American, but their boots full of like, what do you call it? Like canisters and stuff, that they are just
yeah.
bulk buying all of this petrol. Let's first of all get your thoughts on what's been going on before I move on to my main question. What's your thoughts on what you've been seeing so far?
I think it's absolutely crazy, crazy. And if there wasn't a shortage of petrol, well, now there is,
Mm-hmm.
because people just, they're too fast. Like they're too fast to. I don't get it, man. And it also shows how selfish people are, man. Because everyone just wants it for themselves. It's a bit sad to see sometimes. Um, how it's just like a dog eat dog world, like just everyone just wants it for themselves type thing, like you know. But yeah, I think it's crazy. I think it's crazy. My friend was queuing up for like 2 hours to get petrol.
Damn.
Literally, by the time he got to the front and it was his turn, the whole thing crashed and he couldn't even get it. So
Oh,
I thought that's ridiculous. That's crazy. But yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. They voted Brexit though, innit? So
there's so much that went into this mess. That it's just, oh, it's a shit show. I mean, my mum managed to get petrol last night. She went in the middle of the night and still had to queue for 30 minutes. But she knew that if she didn't go then, there was just no way that she would
yeah,
get any petrol in any decent time. So she went literally in the middle of the night and still waited in a queue for 30 minutes.
it's crazy.
Um, so I want to start with the government first, because let's just get the worst one out of the way. So I just want to read real quick from the Manchester Evening News. My former employer. Hi. So they've written an article that came out on the 27th. So that was on Sunday. And it says, over the weekend, fuel stations across the UK saw lengthy queues as Brits rushed to fill up their cars with petrol and diesel. In light of the disruption caused, it had been rumoured that the British Army would be brought in to help ease the situation. The government has no plans at the moment to use the army to drive petrol tankers amid continuing shortages at filling stations, the Environment Secretary has said. George Eustace said there was not a shortage of fuel and called on motorists to stop panic buying petrol and return to their normal pattern of purchasing. So I don't know why I can't read today. Mr. Eustace said, we are bringing Ministry of Defence trainers in to accelerate some of the HGV training to clear a backlog of people who want to carry out those tests, and there's definitely a role there for the Ministry of Defence. In terms of other things, we've no plans at the moment to bring in the army to actually do the driving, but we always have a civil contingencies section within the army on standby, but we're not jumping to that necessarily at the moment. This article then goes on to talk about the figures showing the increase in the price of petrol or price of fuel in this country. There has been a slight increase in a matter of days. So it's all
It's crazy.
basically it's all kicking off. So in this section of Mahakama, what I normally do is I say mercy or no mercy. I give mercy or no mercy to the situational person, depending on what's happened. So I want to break it up into three parts because I think this crisis has come about because of three separate situations or three separate beings. So you've got the government, of course, and then you've got the media who are telling everyone about everything. And then you've got the people, us, society in general, who are actually going out and panic buying. So
Right.
I'll get your point of view first, and then I'll give you mine. So for the government's handling of this whole petrol crisis, would you give them mercy or no mercy?
Definitely no mercy.
Okay.
100% no mercy. They I think I think only now there's only people can get like a minimum a maximum of £30
Mm-hmm.
or something like that. But I feel like they should have acted on it way early. And also I feel like they can't you see things coming? Like where I work, there's a forecast of data of how many bookings we're gonna get on this. Like, why can't they ever see these things coming? It's annoying, man. Like, you guys are working for the government. You should be able to see certain things coming. I don't understand. I don't understand how there's no things just catch you by surprise all the time. Like, I don't believe in that. But yeah, definitely no mercy. And also, not only your handling of it is poor, you like you kind of caused it as well in the first place. So yeah,
100%.
100% no mercy.
Yep, agreed. Absolutely no mercy. I'll never give the Tory government mercy. As far as I'm concerned, they are evil. And I said what I said. I used to do this all the time on What's Politicking You Off. It would literally end up being a rant about the Tory government. I genuinely believe a lot of them did see a lot of this coming. They just didn't care. They wanted their votes. They initiated that Brexit vote because they wanted the far right voters to keep them in power, to keep their power. And David Cameron promised all of these far right dickheads that they would have this they would, indulge in this ludicrous idea of leaving the EU and no longer being a member state, even though it made absolutely no sense. It didn't make any sense at the time when Nigel Farage started talking about it. It didn't make sense at the time that there were campaigns about it. It didn't make sense at the time that they decided that we were going to be voting on this. None of this has made sense since its inception, and what we are now doing is reaping the because it's not a reward, but we're getting the consequences of that bullshit, the bullshit games that politicians play to keep any semblance of power and so that they can continue robbing us blind. I will never give the Tory government any mercy on any situation because they are evil as far as I'm concerned. And at best, Tory ministers are incompetent. At worst, they are agents of the devil himself, and I am convinced of it. A lot of these man,
It's of
honestly,
the
that's genuinely how I feel. I felt like that before, and if I didn't, I would certainly now, because fuel and food aside, as if those two things aren't essential already, these men had the fucking audacity to rob us blind during a global pandemic. I will never forget
yeah.
that. Like everyone seems to just be carrying on as normal. The media's not going mental about it. There's no fucking people outside with pitchforks going crazy. We're not doing a France and rioting all the time. I don't understand why. This government robbed us every day during a global pandemic, and now they've put our taxes up.
Yeah.
The working and middle class, our taxes are up. They robbed us while people were dying and sick. They robbed us. They fucking desecrated our NHS when we needed it the most. And then they're telling us, actually, now you're going to pay more tax. Well, we still pay fuck all. You're now going to pay more tax to make, to fill this gap that's now, the public funds, this gap that's there. The gap that only exists because they fucking corrupt. They were corrupt. They robbed us. Them and their friends got rich while people were dying and people couldn't get hospital beds. So when I say the Tory government are literally the agents of Satan, I am not being facetious. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not being funny. I genuinely believe they are demons, every single last one of them. And as I said, at best, if they're not demons, individual ministers, I mean, they are incompetent. And they should not have the power that they have. And they should
Or
not be
maybe they
responsible
both.
for people.
Maybe they both. Maybe they
Maybe
both.
both.
But I do believe that they do know exactly what they're doing. I do. I think it's part of their agenda, and they know exactly what they're doing.
They
They're not
know exactly
stupid.
what they're doing because they always manage to get rich off it. They always
Yeah,
manage to be fine. And I feel
they're
like
not
if you're always
stupid.
on a come up, then you must be knowing something.
Exactly, they're not stupid. They know exactly what they're doing.
So, as far as the Tory government goes, absolutely never, ever, ever, ever any mercy for them. So, let's go to the media. Now, the media, the press, have been doing their job and they have been letting people know what's going on. But there have been, talks of the way the media plays a role in the panic buying. They start reporting on,
100%.
don't panic buy this, don't panic buy that. And it happened during the pandemic as well. When flour was all running out at the same time because everyone decided to start baking their own bread at the same time. And like loo roll would, be panic bought to the point where you couldn't fucking find a roll to save your life. And then of course shopkeepers were then putting up the price to
Yeah.
exorbitant amounts, and not to mention the price gouging on Amazon, but that's a whole nother thing. So I wanted to get your point of view, Troubz. For the media, would you say mercy or no mercy for the handling of this specific petrol crisis?
No mercy as well, because that's how people receive the information. So if you delivering the information in a there's a shortage of this and people are gonna panic. The way you deliver your message is the reason why people are panicking. Like, so it's definitely no mercy. It's definitely no mercy. And they go in hand with the first one, which was the government. So yeah, I think they're probably even going by their orders, if anything. So definitely no mercy for me.
Yep, 100% agree. No mercy. While I'm very much for the media doing their job, I'm very much for the freedom of the press. I'm very, very aware that, oh God, the thing is that I get so frustrated when I think about this, if you can't
Yeah,
tell. But the thing that really upsets me is that the once coveted, investigative journalism, that kind of the prestige that came with being responsible for the masses knowing what was going on with politicians or, whatever was important to society, right?
yeah,
What was once such a coveted, such a privileged thing has just been ruined by sensationalism. People just they want clicks by any means necessary. And it doesn't
yeah,
matter if it's going to cause people to panic buy and for there to end up being a petrol shortage where there wasn't one to begin with. Yes, there was a shortage of drivers, but there was no actual shortage of fuel yet. until people panicked. Now, people panicked because the media was like, oh my God, shortage, shortage, shortage. There's not going to be any petrol soon. So then you got everyone going out and buying way too much and way more than they needed. And now there's a shortage being caused by that. So I agree with you there. No mercy for the media. I think that it would be great if they could stop trying to get reactions. Leave that to bloggers, please. You are not bloggers. You're actually supposed to mean something if you are
Yeah,
press. So leave the clickbait to bloggers and YouTubers, and you please, for the love of God, put out some actual news. That would be great.
that's the thing. They like you made a very good point. They carry themselves like bloggers, and like they wanting sales, newspaper sales, and all of that stuff. That's why I think they go hand in hand with the government, and obviously, and I generally think they just working together really
Yeah,
for their own mission. For their own mission, they have their own agenda that they try to push, and the government uses the media. The media is one of the government's like best favorite tools to use because that's how
absolutely.
they communicate to us. So
And I feel like it's always been that way. Like, I don't want it to get misconstrued. Like, I don't think that the media used to be perfect and now it's bad. I just think that there were more beacons of good at some point
mhm.
back in the day. I feel like there were more people that were concerned with actually getting real news out to people. And
Yeah,
maybe I'm living in some kind of fairy tale in my head and looking at it fondly in the past. But I believe there was a point in time where there were more people than there are now working in those spaces that were concerned with actual news, whereas now it's like we're all caught in the same shit. Like, why is the independence Twitter moving like fucking TMZ? Why
yeah,
why are you doing
yeah,
that? Like, they shouldn't even be allowed on Twitter. Sometimes I feel like they shouldn't be allowed on Twitter. Like, politicians and news outlets shouldn't even be allowed on certain social media spaces, because why are you moving like us? You're supposed to not do that. Like, you're
yeah.
supposed to
I
be
think
someone that
they
we
do it
can
on
rely on.
purpose. Again, they do it on purpose. They know exactly what they're doing. It pushes their agenda. They
Well, it gets them
remove
views, right? So
things.
they put ads on
Yeah,
their websites just like every other business, and so
yeah.
they're gonna do that. And I think that's the issue. But no mercy for them. So finally, society, the people that are actually out here panic buying, mercy or no mercy?
For the people that are panic buying,
Yes.
um, I say mercy, because yes, some of them are uneducated and whatever, but it's not their fault. They're being fed. Like some people only ever believed the media and the government, which I don't blame them for it. That's what they were supposed to do. It's just obviously historically, we then know that we know better not to put our trust in those two parties. But um, for a normal human human being that doesn't really, that's just they just go with the flow and go by what they've been told and what the rules are without questioning it or anything. I don't know if I can blame them. I don't know if I can blame them. Yeah, I'm gonna say mercy on the people. I'm gonna say mercy on the people. Yes, they could use their brain a bit more, and be a bit more independent thinking and all of that stuff. But I don't blame them for like if a parent says something to a child and the child goes and does it, and it was a bad move. I can't I can't, like, in a way, if he's a child that always listened to the parents, in a way I kind of understand it. Do you know what I'm saying? I see where you're coming from. So yeah, I'm gonna say mercy. I'm gonna say mercy.
I love that answer because there's a lot of empathy there, which I think is very, very necessary in our world, especially right now where it seems like we're lacking it. And I'm
I
inclined
could
to
easily
agree.
hear I could easily hear that no mercy in there as well,
Yeah,
because you can also say people should be able to,
to do
think for
better.
themselves too. Like,
Yeah. But I
so
that's exactly how I feel. Like, I'm in two minds, but it's leaning more towards mercy. So my reasoning for mercy is very, very similar to yours in that, you know, it's by design that people only, for the masses only kind of follow instructions. That's how we are conditioned to behave. We are conditioned to trust the government. We are conditioned to trust what the media tells us is, that is true and that's factual. And You know, that's how targeted ads work. That's how the best marketers have worked. I've worked in marketing spaces. I know how they appeal to people and entice people and make people do the things that they want them to do. And trust and believe, there are people that are making a lot of money when we panic, or a lot of money when we go a certain way and do things a certain other way, you know? And so there will always be, it will always work in their favor to keep manipulating the masses. And so I do find it difficult to say anything other than mercy for people. At the same time, though, I am very aware that some of the panic buyers, now I'm not talking about the ones that, you know, have bought a bit extra than they normally would just to be on the safe side, because I feel like that's natural. When you see people are panic buying, you go, oh, let me get a little bit more because I don't know when the next time I'll be able to get it. That, I
Respect.
understand it. It's still not great, obviously, but I understand it and I can relate to that a lot more, especially when it comes to things like food. Like, you got to think about your family, you got to think about you and yours first, and I understand that, and
Yeah.
I can empathize with that 100%. Even with petrol, if you rely on that every single day, you understand the importance of, you need to drive every single day. I understand you maybe filling your tank when normally you wouldn't. Maybe you do it a few more times than you would as well throughout the week. Fine.
Yeah.
I'm talking
Because it got,
specifically about
because
the
it's
ones with the
also
canisters.
okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The ones with the canisters. The woman in the video that I saw on Twitter today with the friggin' carrier bag of petrol.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
All of these man there, all of them,
yeah.
all of the people that voted leave. I'm putting you in the same category. Give a fuck. I don't care. All of the people that aren't on the electoral roll or weren't at the electoral roll when they could have been. All the people that decided not to vote despite being on the electoral roll. All of you lot there, you're all in the no mercy category. And I'm going to tell you why. One, you are selfish, especially the people that have been doing way too much with the petrol. You are entirely too selfish to be taking part in this group project that is life, by the way. We all have to be here together. I understand we have to look out for ourselves and our family and our loved ones, but we all have to live in this space together. At some point, you're going to have to participate in this group project. You're going to have to
Yep.
play a part in us getting a good grade on this shit, okay? Because right now, we're failing miserably. It's because you're not doing your part. So that's
Yep.
for those ones. And for the ones that didn't vote, again, you're not doing your part. You think, I know it's cool to not really care about that kind of stuff, not really be interested in politics, but this is what happens when you don't participate. This is what happens when you don't use your vote in some way. Keep up to date at some point, once a week. You're on your phone all day, every day. Once a week, just try and find out what's happening with the government real quick. Oh, is there an election?
Yeah.
Who's saying what? Let me try and find out who's lying the most and who's lying the least, or whose lies
Yeah.
aren't going to affect us as much. Let me just
Exactly.
know. Let me just know a little. I Googled what cats might eat if the world ended at some point today. Let me at least Google to see what my local friggin' MP might be up to. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, these
Yeah.
people that just decide not to participate, I don't actually have that much mercy for you, because it's actually, you're affecting everyone. You're affecting all of us. And now people are queuing up for 2 hours and not able to get petrol. People at petrol station workers are being friggin' abused by people. There's fights kicking off everywhere. People are getting punched out randomly in petrol garages. People are trying to prioritize ambulances because, hello, if you're filling up canisters full of fucking petrol, it means that ambulances and other cars for emergencies cannot fill their tanks up if you fucking ruin the entire filling station.
Firefighters, all of that. Yeah.
And so, if you don't participate in any way, I don't care whether you're interested in politics or not. It's none of my concern. We all have to be to some extent. You don't have to watch everything like I used to. It's depressing. I wouldn't recommend it. But stay abreast of what's happening. Participate. Vote. And when you vote, read up beforehand. Don't vote leave if you don't understand what the big deal is, or you don't know why. You don't understand that we've been doing the same thing since 1973 and it's worked out pretty fucking well for all of us. And then now all of a sudden you go, oh, well, they're saying leave though, and they're saying that we'll give money to the NHS. Did that money go to the NHS, or are you still in a queue somewhere on a waiting list?
Yeah.
Please, for the love of God, think. Sometimes you Google everything else. Find out what's happening around you, because when you don't, this shit happens.
Big facts. Big
So that's
facts.
where my no mercy goes. But I do have empathy for the people that get swayed, that get manipulated. I understand that this shit happens. I wish it didn't, but the blame ultimately lies with the leaders, which again is why we all need to participate, as boring as it can be. We need to make sure we're putting at least somewhat decent leaders in place, because when you got the fucked up ones that we currently do and have had for over a decade, you end up in the absolute shit show that we're in now.
Yeah, big facts. Because you got to really see as well, if they don't trust the government and don't trust the media, they automatically putting themselves in that rebelled rebel side. Like you go against the grain, which not everyone's ready for, not everyone's built for. So
And also, how are you rebelling when now you can't get petrol either? How does that make you
yeah,
feel?
it's true.
Because at some point, like, you have to participate. I understand the whole anarchy argument, but also you're still here. Like, you still have to be here. You still have to
Yeah,
work because you still need somewhere to live. So get a grip, grow up a little bit. Like, no disrespect to anyone's views, but grow up a bit. And yes, down
yeah,
with capitalism and that, but while it's still here, like, you have to participate in it.
it's
You can
true.
do what you
It's
do what you can actually do to change it. If you're against what's happening, do what you can do to change it. Don't just sit about moaning for likes on Twitter, because that's not doing fuck all.
yeah,
I
yeah,
respect everybody's views, but if you're not acting on it, sometimes shut the fuck up.
big facts.
But you know
Tell
what?
them, Linda.
I got it out. I mean, apparently I really needed to get it out. I'm so irritated with what I'm seeing. I think I've just seen way too many politicians acting a fool online as well. And I'm like, you lot just need to be doing your jobs, and you're here chatting to us like we're your age mates, and we're not. You're
I don't
supposed to
even know
be
why they
running
on
our
Twitter.
budgets.
I don't even know why they on Twitter. I
I
really
wish they
don't.
could get banned. I
I don't
wish.
follow none of them, to be fair. So I
I
don't
do follow
see.
a couple. I'm not gonna lie. I won't even be a hypocrite. I do follow a couple because I do like seeing what they're up to, but like in terms of policies and stuff and what they've done, because a lot of the
Yeah,
time their teams will post it on Twitter. But generally speaking, I would be perfectly happy with politicians being banned from Twitter. I just don't want to see them on there. Like, let us have our chat on Twitter. We're having a good time. Leave us
yeah,
to it. How about you go to work? Because
yeah. Go
like,
drive a lorry.
yes, retrain to drive a lorry, since you guys are only in parliament for 26 and a half days out of the year, and even less when there's a pandemic. So please learn how to drive a lorry. Get some baby supplies. By the way, my local asda has, like, their baby supplies have been going like really 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 low, and it's really worrying that, like, everyone's just fucking about and not worried at all. And it's like people have got brand new babies and babies supplies are low. So please, if you are panic buying that type of stuff, please think about the next mother, the next father, the next parent that needs supplies as well. Think of care homes, or children's homes. Think of other people, please. If you need these supplies, please just think of other people while you're there.
100%.
um All right, let me get off my soapbox. I'm doing a bit much now. I've had enough. So, thank you very much for coming on the show, Troubz. Is there anything that you would like to promote to the listeners?
um, just the Wiretap. You can type it on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, enjoy the content, and that's battle rap stuff. Um, got something for the non-battle rap fans to that they can enjoy too coming soon. So if you can subscribe to the channel, then stay looking out for that. If not, it's fine. Hopefully you double back whenever I do come with content for you. And yeah, man, let's rock out and subscribe to the Pod of Mercy.
Hey, appreciate it. The link to the Wiretap's YouTube channel will be in the description, so please feel free to click from there. And like Troubz said, if you're not into battle rap, subscribe anyway, and then you'll be notified when there's content there for you. And obviously, if you are into battle rap, then why are you not already subscribed to the Wiretap? Please get it together. Um,
Sorry, I saw something the other day saying 70% of my viewers are actually not subscribed. Funny enough.
Right. If any of the 70% are listening right now, stop what you're doing. Go and subscribe. It will not hurt you to subscribe to something you're clearly already watching. Okay? Get it together. And if you liked this episode, please do share with a friend and go check out previous episodes. There's a few now that you can listen to. Also, please give us a rating on iTunes so that Pod of Mercy can be reached by more listeners. Please, that would be very kind.
Make sure. Give
Yes,
them
5 stars if you will. I mean, if it's going to be less than 5, then fair, but give me 5.
yes,
Um,
5.
if you're interested in my random ramblings and, opinions that nobody asked for, you can check out my Twitter at Linda is Shapoopy to see what I am up to. Please make sure that you follow at Pod of Mercy on Twitter and Instagram as well. That's it from me. So I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Bye.